I'm Brad.
I'm Tony, and together we're Sound Advice.
Today we're going to be talking about the Universal Audio Apollo, which is the interface that we have here at Skips. We're also going to talk about, I'm going to show you a couple of the plugins that you'll be able to utilize once you have a Universal Audio interface.
Yes, that's going to be nice. The 8P is pretty specific.
Right, the 8P is actually 8 preamps built into a single rack unit, which means that you can record 8 instruments or microphones at once into your computer. What we have here at Skips is we have a mini Mac and we have the Universal Audio Apollo 8P. That's plugged in Thunderbolt to the actual computer. We'll show you that Universal Audio comes with its own proprietary software called the console, which is a really cool format. It looks like an old vintage console. So basically it's like having a recording console built into your computer when you buy this interface. How long have we had Universal Audio here?
We've had Universal Audio for about 8 months.
That's good. We are one of, if not the only, Sacramento-based area music store that has all the authentication, all the authorizations for all these plugins, which is a really rare thing. There's not many places where you could go and listen and see how all these plugins work and what they sound like.
And it's actually Northern California.
Northern California. Even a bigger broad circle.
Even bigger, broader, so we have
So what that means is that someone could come in and if they had a thumb drive with a mix on it or something and they wanted to hear what the Studer 800 tape emulation would sound like on it, they can bring it in and we can go ahead and run it through there and check it out and they're going to be blown away.
Absolutely. Well, the little bit of stuff that you did with it was pretty ballsy, so I was happy with that, and wanted to make sure that you guys get the opportunity to see what he's going to talk about. There's also some other things you're going to cover, which is pretty basic, but stuff that we need to know when the customer comes in.
And that's basically being able to identify the operating system that you have.
Gotta have that.
You need to identify the version of the software that you have, and these numbers are important so you can get everything to work together. Nowadays, with everything being updated and there's new versions of software coming out, it's really important to know what your operating system is, even what kind of memory and RAM that your computer has,
important.
And what version of software. Like we have Studio One here. I'm going to be working in Pro Tools, and that's something that we have here also. That's something that I'm just more familiar with. But I'm going to show you how you can check to find what versions that you have.
Excellent.
All right, so let's check out Universal Audio's Apollo console interface. We're on the console software from Universal Audio. This is what it looks like. It looks like a cool old analog mixer. You can see all the different inputs that it comes in, and these you can customize what you want to see. I have everything showing for our 8P, which is the interface that we have here. If you look, the first 8 of these are microphone inputs, and you can see the inputs here. But the cool part I just want to show you really quick is on these inserts, this is the plugin library that they have. And we here at Skips have authorizations for every single one of these plugins. So you could come in and listen and hear if you're interested in buying a plugin off their website, or you just want to know what the new latest and greatest plugin thing is. We have it here and we're able to launch and show you all these. I'm going to start off really quick and go into what is called the Unison, which is their proprietary name for how they have preamp emulations. My favorite that I've been working with is this Neve 1073 preamp right here. It looks like an old vintage pre, and so what this allows me to do is I can plug a microphone into this first channel and it's going to run through the emulation of this Neve 1073. It's going to give me preamp, it's going to give me gain structure preamp right here, and the Neve classic EQs. These are great for recording, for mixing. Along with the preamps, the dynamic section of all the compressors are extremely incredible. Fairchild emulators sound amazing, amazing compressors. My favorite compressor that I've been using lately is this Tube Tech. This guy is one of my favorite analog pieces of gear, and this is a great representation of what it sounds like. I mean, they all look the same, but this is a great emulation of this Tube Tech compressor. There's also, built into this console, there's also auxes, so I can actually send any of these microphones into an aux and use different kinds of reverbs. 30, 40 different kinds of reverbs are available through the UAD website. All right, one last thing. Once we're in console, I just want to show you how you can check what version of the UAD software you have, because that's another number that's going to be important to know how to put your whole studio together. When you install any kind of Apollo or any kind of Universal Audio hardware, you get this in your dock. You get something that says console, and then you have something that says control panel. If you click on the control panel, it's going to tell you how much CPU you're using on your actual hardware device. I'm up at 63%, which means that I'm using 63% of the resources that I possibly can. If I go to this right little drop-down menu right here, I can go into something that says System Info. If I click System Info, this control panel comes up, and this is what we need to know. I have a Apollo 8P, which has 4 DSP chips in it, which allow me to use 4 processing power chips. If you look on the software right here, it's going to tell me what power plug-in version that I have. I have 9.0.0, which is about a month old, which is still all the newest, latest, and greatest. From this control panel, you can look and see what plugins you have authorized for your unit, what plugins you actually have in your bundle, the configuration. This is all getting into controlling of the actual hardware unit. But I just wanted to let you know, if you go to System Info, this is what's going to tell you what version of UAD plugins that you have. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play you a little clip of this music, and we're going to turn on this Manly Massive Passive, and we'll turn on this Studer 800 tape emulation. So here you go. That's with it off, with no processing. And this is with it back on. As you can see, it's making a world of difference, adding a lot of character, a lot of tape character. The EQ sounds great. I think it's just a great example of what the tools that Universal Audio gives you to manipulate your tracks. All right, that was a pretty good first look at the software console by Universal Audio that comes with any hardware, the Apollo Twin or the 8P. If you have any questions, it's great just to come down here. My name is Brad. I'm part of the team here. I would love to show you what plugins we have and how they sound. You don't necessarily have to have a DAW. You don't need Pro Tools. You don't need Studio One, because the console can work all on standalone. It can be in the standalone mode where I can plug a microphone right into just this console, and you'd be able to hear the effects of the Unison preamps or all the EQs and all of the compressors that are built in with the Universal Apollo stuff.
Well, thank you for joining us on this adventure with Brad, going over Apollo.
And what are we going to do next?
Next, we're going to probably talk about maybe some of the plugins that you've not seen.
A little bit more, maybe more detail.
Yeah.
We could get maybe a vocal. I can show you some of the guitar emulations, really get in depth. We just really wanted to give you a broad look at what you can get
Absolutely.
here at Skips with Universal Audio stuff.
Yeah.
It's some really cool stuff. So you should come in, talk to me, talk to Tony. We would love to show it to you. I'd love you to hear what's going on. It's a really cool new piece of technology we're playing with.
You also forgot, we have Jeff and Eric.
That's right.
We have 2 other guys that are on board with us. Jeff's been in the studio as well, world touring guy. Eric's just getting started, but still a cool cat to talk with. So we got the 4 of us now that are pretty much diving into some of the beautiful things that are going on with Universal Audio. And the Apollo P8,
It's the 8P.
The 8P. He corrected me.
It's all right.
It's a really amazing piece. It sounds stellar.
It sounds great. The built-in preamps on that unit are second to none.
Yeah. And then the fact that all the memory's there.
Yeah.
That's a cool feature. So, thank you for stopping in, watching us. I'm Tony.
I'm Brad.
We're Sound Advice.